Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing my friend's nails. We went for a natural vibe with like a bit of a zhuzh because she saw the diamantes and I was like, so we moved and it was great. If you like the video, please like, comment and subscribe. If you don't like the video, please like, comment and subscribe anyways. Constructive criticism is always welcome. So I'm just gonna let you get into the video. Hey guys, so we're going to get into the video now. As you can see, I've already put the tips on and we've cut them down. That's just because I lost the footage, so we move. You'll probably see that I lost quite a bit of footage, but that's fine. So over here you see me going up against the side. I'm just trying to get the tip flush with the natural nail so it looks a little more natural. We're also just going in and shaping all the nails. We decided to go with a tapered square kind of shape. I will admit my shaping is not yet where it needs to be, but it will be in due time. So we're just gonna do the shaping with all of the nails. Throughout this video, I'm probably only gonna really show you one hand because showing you both hands would result in a really long video. And we're doing a very sort of basic style. We've opted to do a natural nail with a bit of bling around the cuticles. Initially my friend was just like, no, she wants natural. But obviously I pulled out the diamantes and she went, ooh, that one. So we move. Over here you see me going in with a wipe. We're using a little bit of acetone and a wipe to clean out the underneath of the nails. This is the prep and bonded that I use. I use one coat of the nail prep and 2 coats of the bonded per nail. And with this I only put it on the natural nail. You don't need to put it on the nail tip. So that's what I do. I do the 2 coats because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos where people sort of compared doing 1 coat to 2 coats, and they found that the adhesion was a lot better with the 2 coats. And personally, I found that my adhesion's also just a lot nicer when I've got the 2 coats down. Before, I used to get a lot more lifting, and that's not really the case now. But the lifting also has to do with how clean you keep your cuticle, which is something we are better at but still working on. This is an old video. It's not like that old. I filmed it, I think, a month or 2 ago when my friend was still around, and I recently did a nail course, but I haven't really had time to film a whole new nail video. And the next video I film, I kind of want it to be a little bit more, so you'll probably see like 1 or 3 more videos from before I did this nail course. If you guys are interested in this nail course that I've done, I will put the details down below with a link to their website and all of that jazz. I think it really did help me sort of refine everything, because like my nails used to be thick. These are still a little bit thicker than I'd like not at the tip but by the apex, because I wasn't entirely sure on how to get it thin or flat-ish, but for it to still have the strength. So we learned some stuff, and I rate we're better now. You can check out my TikTok as well if you'd like to see sort of a progression between how my nails used to look and what they look like after I've done the nails. The first set there from after will say that I went to a short course. That brush that I'm using over there is a number 8 brush. It's a generic one I got from a China mall. It works pretty nice. I quite like it. If you're starting out, I would recommend a smaller brush, maybe a number 4. That's what we used at the course, and it really does just sort of help you with control. The more you get used to it, I think the higher you can go up with your numbers, or you can just start at an 8 or whatever, if that's what you feel like. I realized I didn't put this disclaimer down earlier, but I am not a professional nail tech, so yeah, please note that everything I do is literally just what I've learned, and I guess what I've learned from the course, although in this video, this was before the course, so it's just everything I learned by myself through watching my nail tech, watching YouTube videos. I'll link some of the people who really just sort of helped me out in terms of figuring out how to do everything down below, so you can check the description box. So what I've done with this nail here that you see like thus far is I've put a bit of clear acrylic on the tip. The acrylic I use is the Beauty Sense acrylic, and then we're using the Cover Pink as well, and we're going to use that to sort of ombre out the nail, and that will create our natural adjacent type of nail. And here you see me using, I think I'm using the 3-ball method here. So your first ball right on the tip, second ball a bit further down, and then that last ball near the cuticle. As you get to the cuticle, you really want to be careful to not flood the nail and the cuticle. So I found that doing the nail with the nail facing downward really helps, because then the acrylic runs down the nail to the tip instead of running up it into the cuticle. You can also add a bit more acrylic if you feel like you haven't really properly built your apex, because you really want to make sure that that apex is there and strong and living life. Otherwise your nails will pop off, they'll snap, you'll get breaks, and it's just not going to be a fun time. Usually when I do my nails, they last me about 2 weeks. If your nails grow fast, maybe take them off after like 1 week to 1.5 weeks. My sister's nails grow really fast, but personally I could probably go about 3 weeks, but I wouldn't recommend, just because I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I just feel like now you're asking for stress. Again, I'm showing you how I go about doing the nail. We put down the acrylic for the clear one first. The monomer I use, got to say, is the Planet Nails one, but I do also have a Beauty Sense one. So I just personally just kind of mix things and see how they work together. And if they work, then I keep going with it. Usually people do say to stick to one sort of brand because those brands were like formulated and stuff to work together. That is the ideal way to go about doing it, but personally I don't really do that. You see me cleaning off my brush each time, like before I start patting down the acrylic, just because you don't want your brush to end up with a lot of the acrylic products in there, because the acrylic will harden, and when it does that, your brush is basically ruined. You're going to need to get a new one. So I like to wipe it off onto a paper towel or some tissue after I've put the acrylic down, and then I like to let it sit in a bit of acetone for a sec just to clean it off and make sure that any of the acrylic solution situation has not sort of hardened inside there. I also use the acrylic as I use the acetone as a bit of a slip. You can also just use monomer as a slip if you want. Both work pretty well. The monomer does make it a little bit looser though, so if you're wanting the thing to get a little looser, add some monomer to your brush and pat out like that. You can see how I'm going around the cuticle area here in the nail. You want to make sure it's not touching the cuticle, because if it touches the cuticle, and I think I'm probably repeating myself, but that's okay, if it touches the cuticle, chances are when it grows out, you're going to start getting lifting. I don't recall who told me that, but again, many YouTube videos, guys. Same process. I figured I'd just let you guys watch, just in case you're more of a visual learner. Then you have the option to just sort of see what I'm doing. If you're wanting in-depth sort of, I guess, chats about what exactly you should be doing per step, how to do it and all that jazz, let me know, and I will let me know in the comments, and I'll do a video on that, as well as link some videos that really helped me in terms of technique down below as well. After you've done the acrylic, you can do a quick cure in a lamp. I didn't do that here, but what you see me now doing is taking my drill with the sanding pad on it, and I'm just sort of, you know, softening up and clearing up the top edge of that so that it doesn't hurt if it touches the skin. And we're just going to use that to sort of redefine the shape and bring it back, because with the acrylic, sometimes you do tend to mess the shape up a bit based on like how it runs down the sides of the nails and all that. And we're going over the top as well to just sort of make it smoother. You'll see me change bits in a little bit because I realized that this bit really wasn't just doing what I wanted it to do. I think with this set I did put a little bit too much acrylic, so they were thicker than I wanted them to be, and I just needed to remove a bit of the product. You can do that easily with a nail drill if you have one. If you don't have one, I would recommend that you just be really careful with your application, otherwise you will be sitting forever and always hand filing. I have to say, I think hand filing is the pits, so we hate. This drill here that I have is, I think it's the flame drill bit, and I know it's a size medium. So I'm using the medium sort of grit one. They have medium fine and like coarse, I think, but it just sort of helps get that down. I like this bit in particular just because you can get closer to the cuticle with it without actually hurting the person whose nails you're doing, because the tip sort of acts like a safety. I've been looking for safety bits because apparently those are ideal and they really do help. There are lots of different kinds of bits you can use specifically for the cuticle. I didn't have them at that point. I did buy some, but they're also too big for my drill. So I'm gonna go to Mika when the lockdown is over, and I'm just gonna have them sort of, I guess, file them down or like make them smaller. I spoke to a guy called Paul who said he could do that for me, but it's gonna cost me 200 Rand for all 30 bits. If you don't want to go through all of that effort, you can just check and make sure that it is the right size. The kind of bit that generally fits into my drill is like a 2mm, and then the bits I bought are 3mm. Yeah, they didn't tell me at the store. I was very unimpressed when I got home and I found out. So always double check. Here you see I've gone back to using a sanding band. The one I was using was a fine one. We just use that to smooth the top of the nail. Again, a wipe with some acetone. We're just trying to make sure all the dust is gone. I'm gonna be real honest, the acetone's a little bit harder to get rid of all the dust. Personally, I bought a brush specifically for that reason, and it is way better. Just get like a fluffy powder brush. So what I'm using here is the Bonded again. I'm using it because I just feel like it helps me better with making sure that the gel sticks onto the nail. A lot of people don't do that and their stuff seems to stick perfectly fine as well. This is just something I added because it made sense in my mind, so we went with it. We're painting everything on again with everything facing downward because you don't want to flood the cuticle. This is my favorite sort of base coat. I use the same top coat from the same brand, QBD, and I use the no wipe one. I prefer the no wipe ones just because, I don't know, I feel like you get more of a shine and you don't have to stress about that disappearing. I don't know, my logic might be flawed, it probably is, but preference, you know. With this, I did use the footage for the top coat application, but after each application of gel, I like to cure the nails for 2 minutes. My lamp is a 48-watt lamp, but the one we're using here was a 6-watt. I do the same thing in like both thingies. So after curing it, I've gone and I've added another sort of layer of base coat, but only near the cuticle. Again, everything down facing because we don't want to flood the cuticle. I know, I feel like I'm just on repeat here with the don't flood the cuticle vibes, but yeah, life. So I just added a bit of the gel where I wanted to apply the diamantes just to help them stick, and after the application of the diamantes to that area, we will cure it again for 2 minutes to make sure that every bit of it is properly stuck on. You could use a nail glue to do this. I just use my base coat because the diamantes I'm using are relatively small. If you're going to use bigger ones, I would recommend that you use like a proper like glue, or use like a hard gel or a builder gel, or those gels that say that they're like gluey gels for like sticking gems or whatever. Those I think would be better, especially if you're using a non-flat back gem. I'm gonna be real honest with you, just buy the flat back gems because they're so much easier to buy. I bought a bunch of non-flat back gems and they're just harder to use, and I'm still struggling, so I've literally never used them. I think they're really pretty, but I can't do anything with them. Fun, I know, but we live and we learn. Eventually I'll figure out how to do it. I have like a little bit more of an idea since going to that course, but I'm still too chicken because I feel like it would take longer, because I'm still not entirely sure of myself on that point. So we live and we learn. I forgot to mention actually, but before you start adhering all of the gems and stuff and doing the gel, I also like to just sort of push back the cuticle again because you want it to make sure it's not attached. Here is the final vibes for the nails. This is what they ended up looking like. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, please like, comment and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, please like, comment and subscribe anyways. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Yeah, I will link all my socials somewhere, so you can check that out if you want to too.